Oh, he's not even in it. So you chose to be a bitch for free? Hey guys, it's your girl Lady Shay, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Weak Hero. We're on to episode 3 of season 2. So in the last episode, we see that Shion and Juntae have kind of gotten a bit closer after Shion stood up for him. Juntae, of course, is very grateful, but Shion is kind of recognizing that having a friend, having someone who actually looks out for him and cares about his well-being outside of his, his family, it feels good. It's something that he kind of missed. And we see that that emotional support helped him to sleep for the first time in months, even though he swears it was the cocktail that the kid gave him, but it really wasn't. And then on the other side of things, we see that the bully there, he thought he was quite the mastermind, and he orchestrated a situation where Shion and, oh gosh, I keep forgetting the name of the other kid who's like the other resident big kid on campus, that they would somehow think that they were betraying each other and fight each other, and that he was supposed to jump in and beat them both so he could maintain his badass reputation. But we see that the actual king of the school showed up and broke up the fight before things got crazy. I can't remember the names right now, but yes, thank goodness, because the whole thing was just a big misunderstanding. So I guess in this episode, we're going to find out a little bit more about that, guys. So let's jump in. Just before I do, though, if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Yeah.
죽었어, 병신아.
Not him.
야, 근데 너네 애들이랑 피하냐는 소리 해도 모자랄 시간에 이게 그게 뭔 소리야, 병신아.
야, 니 그 잘난 정학 때문에 우리가 대회를 못 나간다, 이 빡대가리 새끼야.
Ooh, language.
이거 물도 잘 안 빠진다는데.
What was that? What was that? Really? You saw that high kick with a chancellor and you thought that trying him was the right move? Some people just really don't learn unless they hurt. You know how that expression goes? Sometimes if you don't listen, you have to feel it. That's the feel it group.
은장고 교복 입고는 싸움 금지인 거 알지?
Yeah, okay.
다 꺼져. 가.
See how smart this one was? He just stayed down. He learned. Yeah.
미안.
Oh, now?
그 아무래도 내가 좀 오해를 한 것 같다.
There's no think about that.
미안합니다. 우리 고따이가 하자가 많아져서 그런지 얘가 본성이 나쁜 건 아니에요.
It's not you. Shion doesn't have a sense of humor.
시연아, 어디 가?
Home. He's like, that's where he's trying to go the whole time.
애새끼가 남 인생 조져놓고 착한 척하고 지랄이야.
Poor kid had just started sleeping again, and now you've gone and stirred up his guilt. He's probably going to be up all night again.
고현탁이 막 이상한 얘기해서 기분 나빴지.
Oh, look at Mr. Observant in your business again.
소문 아니야. 그래서 애들이랑 절대 안 싸우려 했거든.
And then he kind of had to, because you kept getting your ass beat right in front of him. I'm kidding. He didn't have to. It was a choice. I do think it was the right one, because watching someone get hospitalized when you could potentially stop it is not an easy thing for most of us. So, well, I mean, at least he's friendly. That's nice. We like that.
일동 정지.
Shock. The sense just came to you now, huh? He is a little bit psychotic, isn't he? The way he just kind of flips that switch. He's like all jolly in your face, and he's like, maybe you should be outside. Don't you think? Boys. He's like, can I please just sit down?
습격인가?
He does always look like he's about to jump someone.
아니랑 같이 어울리던 놈들 다 학교 안 나왔어. 이상하지 않냐? 니들이 봐도?
Not our problem. Am I his mother?
아 진짜 IQ 99세기 대가리.
They're like, is this the time? Can y'all focus?
받아.
What's this now? Is this anti-bullying
주말에 교회
pamphlets?
봉사활동으로 퉁치는 거야.
Oh.
당연히 받는 거고.
아니 저희한테만 이러시면 좀 불공평하죠.
I mean, you started the fight, actually, bro.
내가 지금 니들이랑 토론하는 거 같냐?
Yeah, he's not asking. I mean, you fell for a trap someone set for you, but you still did it.
자식들이 보자 하니까 진짜.
죄송합니다, 쌤. 앞으로 봉사활동 열심히 하고 앞으로 저희
Breathe through it, Sheehan. Breathe through it, Sheehan. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. I know. He's just trying to get you out of more trouble.
야, 토할 뻔했어. 야, 그리고 너 싸움 했잖아. 내가 싸움 금지라고
That's
했어.
true. You did start a fight.
먼저 시비를 걸어왔다니까 빠꾸야. 아,
어이, 친구?
A what now? Who's 친구?
어제는
미안.
내가 미안.
Oh, 감사합니다.
이상한 소리를 하는 것도.
Oh, you know what
나도
you said
미안.
was weird.
뭐?
Exactly.
나도 어제 미안했다고.
That's true. You didn't have to fight back.
이 화해인 듯 화해 아닌 화해가.
No, this is Sheehan being really warm.
그리고 너 내 머리 만지지 마.
Yeah, he has a right to say, please respect my body. Don't touch it. He's gonna do it now just because you told him not to.
어? 아, 어쩔 건데?
He's that kind of
어?
person, eh?
어쩔 건데? 아이, 뭐좀할 수도 있지. 어? 이렇게요? 너도 이렇게 하면 되지.
I mean, in fairness, he's not actually acting like he's got a hierarchy here.
먹어봐, 임마.
She's flabbergasted. He's like, my dead eyes didn't work on him. Usually the dead eyes scare people. Oh, 감사합니다.
우리 학교 근처의 학교들은 다 소속돼 있는 일진 연합이 있는데
Ah,
소문에는
that's right.
그리고 백동아 등등이 뭉쳐서 조폭처럼 완전 활동한다고 하더라고.
Ah, okay.
최연만이 폰 모은 것도 거기 들어가려고 그런 거고.
Oh, he's not even in it. So you chose to be a bitch for free?
그런 거 안 한다고 쳐가지고 연합 애들을 다 조져버리겠지. 그때 진짜 연합 애들이 꼼짝도 못하고 다 박살났대.
We heard.
그래도 바꾸는 우리 지키려고 그런 거야. 연장 대장이니까.
Oh, the king, huh? That sounds a lot like his friend that's in a coma. I don't do the sports. Thank you. I'd like to drink my hot beverage.
그럼 학교에서 연락 오고 이런 일은 없어야지.
Wow, what an interesting way to put that.
엄마가 시은이 너를 못 믿어서가 아니라 걱정이 돼서 그래.
Your mom is the nicest woman ever. No, for real. If this was a Jamaican mom, whew, I've been cussed from this side of the island to the next.
애초에 그딴 새끼 믿는 게 아니었어. 바꾸 때문에 은장 안 돼.
I don't like the sound of this.
이거 내가 어떻게든 해결할 테니까.
Baku is going to become a target.
나가리 싸물래.
Same way the other guy did, but, well, a different way, but yeah.
잠깐만.
Sorry, you play clown games, you're going to get clown prizes. When you hang out with gangsters, what do you think was going to happen, bro? Sunshine and rainbows?
바꾸?
Yeah,
좋네.
hate it.
좀 찌뿌둥했는데. 오케이.
And it's not even Sheehan's fault this time in any way. Baku is actually just doing the right thing. Sheehan, smile. Come on, I know you got teeth. Come on, bro. Why does he look like he's about to pass out? Of course, Baku's having the time of his life. He is so much like his friend. He really is. Like, as far as that openness and the ability to get along with everybody.
아직 저녁 먹자고 해볼까?
지랄. 그 백번 꺼야 새끼야.
그럼 이건 어떨까? 응? 내가 걔네들하고 저녁 약속을 딱 잡아.
Oh, no, you got the fake number.
뭐라고 새끼야 지금 하나.
It's a little funny, Sheehan. It's a little funny. It's a little funny. He got played. Oh, poor guy looks like he's in pain trying to smile. It's like a pizza place. Yep.
죄송합니다. 잘못 그랬습니다. 죄송합니다.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, bro.
이거 악시댕이를 그냥.
That's what happens though sometimes, you know? Oh, not the white hoodie.
불닭소스 잘 안 지워지네.
You could have kept that to yourself, bro.
바꾸 친구야?
아니?
자, 여기 보세요. 하나, 둘, 셋. 눈이 슬프네.
Sad. That's an interpretation.
너 나 알아?
He's like, do you know who I am? Do you know my reputation?
눈을 안 가네.
Not really his style. Even when it's not the right thing to do. Why would you go to a corner? Get out of that corner.
야, 오늘은 인사만 하러 온 거니까 여기까지 해. 우리 다음에 또 봐.
Bye, bitch. You really should get, see a stylist. That lace front is all crooked. Good job, Sheehan. I know that wasn't easy. And the thing is, he was scared. He doesn't look it, but he was.
야, 근데 못 보던 얼굴이 있어가지고 잠깐 인사 좀 했어.
He's fine this time. Oh, I don't like the change in Baku's face here.
예전에 연합 들어올 생각 없는 거지?
I think that's a hard no.
백진이랑 잘 좀 지내라. 부부싸움 그만하고.
Lover's quarrel with Big Chin. So is that the guy that was in the office? Ugh. Please don't tell me they were besties and then they stopped being besties. And that's why one's in a gang and one's not.
그게 나 때문에.
뭐가?
You didn't touch me.
뭐가 너 때문인데?
Interesting. But again, I feel like that's Sheehan trying not to get involved, even though he's already kind of involved.
와, 미쳤네.
여일고등학교 2학년 2반 나백진.
The gangster is getting an award? He probably didn't even do that test himself. Oh, he's got a punchable face. That's no shade to the actor. I'm sure he's lovely.
귀찮아도 한 번 만나줘봐. 주소 찍어줄게.
He's saying that. Oh, was he saying that Eunjang made their quota despite the fact that they were left out? I didn't quite understand that part. If it takes this many of y'all to follow this guy, I don't think it's a good idea to follow this guy. Just saying. Just saying. His face may be punchable, but clearly he knows how to mess people up or he wouldn't have been able to get this many people following him.
내가 씨발
Yes.
네가 하라는 거 다 했는데 이 개새끼야. 야 백진아.
Ah?
내가 좀 알아봤는데
Bikchina?
싸움 좆도 못하면서 그냥 금성재 뒤에 숨어가지고
That's what you believe.
두들기는 거 아니야?
Is that what you think? You think the calculator would run with a gang if he couldn't fight? Does he look scared of you?
그들 시끄러운 새끼는 마지막에.
Even a little? What were you saying about him not being able to fight? A little louder now. No, this man does not get his ass beat nearly enough because this is what, his third beating in less than a week? Like some people, really, pain is not a teacher for him. Please send his ass to juvie. Or jail. He hits hard. Y'all still want to come for him? Or have you learned? Running would be, okay. He let you out and you still came for him. Okay. This poor kid on this radar, he didn't even ask to be. Like, Sheehan is such a magnet for bad things. But hey, at least he got the rating of not bad.
얘 쏘는 거 아니야?
아 뭔데 진짜? 야, 쏠 수 있어!
Baku chicken?
용돈에서 깐다.
Damn!
아들이 친구도 데려왔으면 이 정도. 네가 튀겨 먹어 이 새끼야.
Ooh, he wasn't lying about imitating his dad. Oh, geez. Why even get the glass? Just drink out of the bottle.
먹어. 야, 준대 다리 먹어. 다리 먹어. 먹어.
Why make the chicken for his friends if you're going to be that angry about it?
야, 준대 엄청 멋있는데?
아니야 나는 그냥 지은이가 알려준 대로만 할 거야.
What? Stop dragging Sheehan in this. My God, the boy's just trying to go to school.
야, 유턴 법칙. 야! 야, 이거 뭔지 모르면 존나 간지나네. 야, 나 이거 어디가
Not U-turn. He said Newton, but okay, we'll take it. Close enough.
왜기 이 자식아 집에 잘 들어갔나 해서 전화했지. 뭐 별일 없었지?
He's worried he got jumped.
근데 또 생각을 해보니까 요즘은 또 너 같은 외모가 먹히나 싶기도 하더라고.
Guys like him,
그래서
huh?
말인데 뭐 어떻게 다음에 같이 한번 헌팅 콜.
Not really the pick up chicks kind of guy.
내가 왜?
응 그래 개새끼.
He didn't say nigga. He's so unintentionally funny. Oh, he's like, well, why would I do that? Bro, I barely speak.
가보니까 생각보다 나쁘지 않았어.
Yeah, kind of nice to help others, doesn't it?
무엇보다 오랜만에 다른 생각들을 안 할 수
Exactly.
있었거든.
Helping others is one of the best ways to get your mind off of your own stuff.
저 새끼가 안수호구나. 네 친구. 너 때문에 인생 조진 새끼. 응?
What the hell is wrong with you?
일어나면 어떻게 할 건데? 응?
Wow, he might have to murder someone this season.
나랑 잠깐 어디 좀 가자.
No.
존나 패고 싶게 생겼네. 씨.
Oh, you have nerve. You have the punchable face here, sir. You know, you could just call the police. Oh my gosh, everything that happens with Suo, anything to do with Suo, and he just loses everything. And it's hard because I understand why he's doing it. Like, he's bottling so much and it's just always boiling just under the surface. And he can suppress so much. But when it comes to Suo and the guilt he feels, like that's the trigger. And this guy, he's already figured it out, which is not good. It's not good for our boy. Because he can put up with a lot when bullies are concerned. But that's Suo, man. All right, guys. Well, this was an interesting episode. I think the highlights for me were watching how Shion is dealing with this very interesting group of people. Like in episode 1, when we had that little kind of intro, we saw these guys together and they're also in some of the materials. So clearly, I don't know if this is going to be the sorry, I was going to say the trio, the quad going forward with these boys, but I don't hate it. You know, we've got Baku, who is very interesting. Like I was saying that it was kind of a little disturbing how he went from, you know, Mr. Jovial, hey, how's everyone doing? Let's get along, to literally kind of getting this serial killer look in his eye and being like, don't mess with me, right? But now seeing the way his dad is, I'm beginning to understand a little bit. I think that, you know, unsurprisingly, I think Baku uses humor. He uses that jovial front to cover the fact that he's probably very lonely. He probably has a low self-esteem, and he probably also has a lot of anger because we see that his dad doesn't seem to be very loving. Let's put it that way. And again, I don't think it's that his dad doesn't love him, because we see that, like I said, his dad was complaining about the chicken, but he still made it for him, right? I mean, if he was really a jerk, he would have been like, I'm not making you and your friends chicken. No, you go make it. I'm going to bed or whatever, right? But he did make it for them. But the fact that he had to make a statement around like, you're paying for this, you're a freeloader, calling him a bastard in front of his friends, like that's, you know, that's not kind, to put it mildly. It is verbally abusive at the very minimum. And I would, you know, venture to guess that considering he's downing soju like water, you know, who knows what he's like when he's at the end of that bottle or a few bottles, right? So anyway, it's giving to me that maybe Baku comes from a home that has not been very loving in all the ways that it could be. He's probably dealt with a lot of, like I said, at the very least verbal abuse, but possibly even physical abuse. Maybe that's why he knows how to fight, is because he's had to learn to do that from a young age. And I don't see a mom. I don't know if there is a mom, but that would probably add a layer to that problem. But anyways, yeah, we see that he is very much this playful person, and he's a boundary pusher as well. And it's interesting because we see him, and I always forget the name of the guy that tried to pick a fight with Shion last episode. But you know, Baku's best, his number one. He's a bit of a rule pusher too, but not as much. Like you can see he's a little bit more of somebody who tries to stay in his own lane for the most part. But Baku, like especially when Shion, after they were in the office, you know, taking their lumps for the fight, and you know, Shion says to him like, hey, like first of all, I'm not on your team, so don't order me around like I am. And secondly, please don't touch my head, right? There's nothing wrong with him saying personal boundaries. Like Shion does not put his hands on anybody unless they put hands on him first, right? Or they take him off. But that's, you know, that happens less than, you know, and the other way around. But anyway, the way he says that, tries to set his boundary, and a second later, Baku comes and ruffles his hair, and he's like, what are you gonna do? So I think we've all met people who are like that. Like the people you say, don't touch that. They just immediately go, what, this? Don't touch that. This right here? This, don't touch it. That's Baku, right? And again, I think he only did that in that particular moment because he recognizes that Sheehan is very buttoned up, very pulled back, very withdrawn. And I think he just wants to see if there's anything more to that, right? Like, I mean, it's just not healthy for Sheehan to be so uneven. Well, what's the word I'm looking for? Not uneven. So flat, I guess would be the best way to put it, right? Because that's just not natural. And I feel like Sheehan feels like he has to be this way because there's a lot of anger. I've said that before. Like, since last season, it's been very clear. Sheehan is a ball of anger. He's got so much anger and he keeps it repressed most of the time. And I feel like he thinks he can't feel anything else lest the anger comes out. Right. So anyways, I think that, Baku wants to see if there's more to Sheehan than that dead-eyed stare of his and that blank face. And we see that Juntae has kind of figured out that despite the fact that Sheehan comes off very cold and indifferent, he's not mean, right? He's not mean. He's not hurtful, at least not willfully. And the fact that he did step in and save Juntae when he didn't have to, and the fact that he even said things to Juntae about his behavior, like all of that was Sheehan showing that he cared, even though he tried to pretend he didn't. Right. So Juntae, I said this last episode, is very observant, right? He watches Sheehan. I don't think Sheehan realizes how much Juntae watches him, because even after what happened with, the fight, with the fight with, oh gosh, I keep forgetting the name of the bully that got his butt worked over several times. But when he was sitting at the bus stop and Juntae even said, listen, don't be upset by what that guy said. Like, he said some weird stuff about the rumors, like, please don't let it get to you, right? He knew immediately that because I mean, people who weren't really observant wouldn't have noticed that Sheehan's normally blank face was even more blank or a little bit more agitated. But Juntae picked up immediately that whatever that guy had said about Suo upset Sheehan, and he was like, yeah, like, hopefully you don't take that to heart or don't listen to him, right? But then Sheehan said, like, no, what he said is true. That's why it bothered me, right? At least that's what Sheehan believes, is that it's true. So anyway, Juntae is very observant, and I do like that about him. And he does care a lot about, Sheehan. Like, and he knows, like, he's getting very little in return at this point, but he still clearly cares and is looking out for him in the best way he knows how. And so anyway, we see that they got that whole volunteering thing, and I think that was a good situation. Like, you could see that Sheehan was highly uncomfortable because he's not used to being around people like that. He doesn't like being pushed to do things he doesn't want to do, but the time he was spending with the boys, just with them talking and goofing around and just being human around him, and the fact that they weren't like pushing him to join in, right? Like, you just saw like Baku and his friend were over there just being idiots, and they were just doing their thing and being their comical selves, and they weren't trying to like force Sheehan to do or say anything he didn't want to do. Sheehan actually started to lighten up, and we see that he actually cracked like a 1/10 of a smile, right? And I feel like for him, I think he's so scared, like I said, to let those positive emotions come forward, because I think, as I said before, I think he feels like he needs to be numb in order to keep his anger in control. But especially after what happened to Suo, I think he just feels all this guilt. And anyone who's gone through extreme feelings of guilt, and I feel like what happened with him right now, I think we could even compare it to survivor's guilt, even though Suo is not technically dead, but it is like survivor's guilt, right? There's this overwhelming kind of consistent feeling that you don't deserve to be where you are, or the person who has suffered shouldn't have suffered in your place. Like, when someone experiences something like that, what ends up happening for them is that whenever they do start to feel good or feel some level of joy or just happy feelings, they immediately feel worse because they're like, oh my gosh, like, how dare I be happy? Like, am I a good person? Am I showing that I still care about this person if I'm now suddenly feeling good? Right. And I think that that's exactly what happened to Sheehan, right? Because we see that after he had that, for him, pretty good day, with the exception of what happened with the bully, which we'll get to, he immediately went to the hospital and he went to go visit Suo, right? Because I think it was like him reminding himself, like, don't you dare feel too good or make new friends, because look what happened to your last friend. You know what I mean? So it's sad and it's not healthy and it's not right. Like, the Suo that I remember from last season, there's no way he would have wanted Sheehan to lock himself away and not be friends with anyone. That's not at all what he would have wanted for him. He would want him to continue to live his life, right? That's the kind of person he was. He was much like I said, he reminds me a lot of Baku, and trying to pull him out of his shell and get him to do more and be more friendly and have more connections, because you can't go through this life alone, no matter how much people think you can. So anyway, that was very interesting. And then we see that poor Shein is just being pulled into situations that he did not ask to be put in any way, shape, or form again. Because now that Baku's, I mean, this whole thing with the, the community service was no one's fault. He just got pulled into it. But as we see, Baku's taken a liking to him. And because of that, right away, we see that these bullies are associating Shein with him. And like, what's interesting is that Shein didn't attempt to say that I have no connection with Baku. He's not my friend. I don't know him. He could have very much said that. And I feel like episode 1, Shein would have been like, I don't know who that guy is. We're just working together. But he didn't say anything, which says to me that he already likes Baku, right? He already considers Baku someone he cares about. So, even though he didn't ask for it per se, I do think he does value that friendship. That's like this budding, I should say, friendship that they have. And we already know that, the one thing that sticks in Shein's craw is bullies. He does not have any tolerance, no love. They disgust him, they irk him, and they really make him sick, right? And so seeing that this guy, who was in the bathroom there, we already saw that was the one who was in the arcade. Was it episode 1? Yeah, we saw him in the arcade in episode 1. He apparently is the dirty work puller for the leader of the union. We now have a name for this network of high school gangs. It's run by this one guy, Baekjin. Is that who it is? Baekjin. And apparently there's some kind of beef going on between Baekjin and Baku. We don't know what it is, but I guess these leaders of this gang know what it is. And maybe this is part of the reason why Baku has not joined this gang. The fact that he's keeping Unjang High School, the one that's not part of this network, which it sounds like they're somewhat tolerating. But I guess the fact that Baku stopped this underling, the guy who got his ass beat 3 times this episode, the fact that he's stopping him from keeping the racket going, I think now that's why Baekjin's like, no, I want you to go in there and I want you to take care of this situation because I want this school under heel. And again, why is the question. I shouldn't say why, because I was going to say, like, we saw the money coming into Baekjin's account, right? The man made, like, what was that? One was like $7,000, another was like $8,000. Like, the point is, he's making probably a solid $20K a week with this racket. So he doesn't need this school, right? But when it comes to bullies, if there's one school that's being defined, that's all it takes to inspire revolution, right? Is one person standing up to the bullies. So anyway, we see that he sent his little dog after Baku, sorry. And Baku, of course, like I said, we saw that switch from the friendly face to literally threatening to take him out. And I do think he would have fought right there in that museum. But anyways, homie just said, look, I think you need to go talk to Baekjin and work this out, because basically I think he was letting Baku know, like, we're not leaving you alone. We're not leaving this alone. You're either going to join or we're going to make an example out of you so that the school will still join and no one's going to come up against us again. So yeah, Baku, I don't know what his thinking and his reasoning are. Based on what his number 1 is saying, thinking is not his strong suit, but I don't think he's dumb. But yeah, I don't know if he's thought through what it is to really stand up to a gang like this. It's not something you can do purely on your fists alone. Despite the story that we heard from Juntae, Baku's one guy. And if they already know that he's a good fighter and he's already whooped their butts once, this doesn't look like the kind of group that's going to fall for that twice. So yeah, Baku really needs to watch his back because he's absolutely their target now. What's more is that we see now that Shein is on their radar. And again, Shein has done nothing but exist. He did nothing but exist. But the fact that he actually did, first of all, he didn't cower in front of that guy, which you can tell he's used to people being so scared of him. Second of all, the fact that, let's face it, that guy actually probably did get a little shook because Shein isn't scared of him and didn't, fall for his threats or his intimidation tactics. And third, the fact that he dodged a number of Shein's punches, that got his attention, unfortunately, right? Not that Shein deserves to get beat again, but Shein could have just taken a punch and this guy probably would have left him alone. But now he's interested, and now we see that because Shein's got this reputation that precedes him, he now knows the whole situation. So that's why he was able to follow Shein or figure out where Shein would have been. And of course, he goes and presses the one button that Shein has that he doesn't have a lot of control over, which is anything to do with Suo. So yeah, that's what's kind of going on there. And then the only other interesting part of this episode was that we saw with Baekjin, who is the leader of this whole thing. He's a numbers guy. Apparently he's a good student. And again, being a good student who probably comes from a decent family, this this whole gang thing is unnecessary, right? This is clearly nothing more than God knows what. He's obviously a twisted psycho, but either way, we see that by day he acts like the perfect student, but he's running this racket, and we see that this idiot from episode 1 who already got his butt beat by Baku shows up. Of course, he didn't have his quota, got his butt beat again for not making the quota, and he was left at that point, right? They beat him enough that he knew that he wasn't going to get in, and he was still going to have to, deal with healing up from that. And then this idiot thought it was a good idea to go and challenge Baek with his little gang of cronies who couldn't even beat Baku, right? And I'm just like, bro, again, I don't feel sorry for him at all. I honestly think Baek should have done more, because clearly beatings mean nothing to this kid. That's the third time he's gotten his butt kicked in a week, and he still showed up and was like, yeah, you're just a wuss. You're just a numbers guy. Yeah, the other guy's doing all your muscle because you can't fight. Really? You think he's leading a gang because he can't fight? You think he's leading people who are violent because he can't fight? You think that's the way that hierarchy goes with people who fight? Okay. But anyway, I don't know. The only thing that might be positive out of that situation is the fact that that guy and his little group of cronies hate Baek now. This could turn into an enemy. My enemy is my friend when it comes to Baku and Xian and those people. And obviously most people at Ninjang High who clearly do not like this gang or like this man. So yeah, something's gonna have to happen. I don't know what at this point. Obviously, Baekjin's got a pretty good, racket going. You don't get a scam like this going as efficiently as it does without some thought and probably a few fail-safes in place. Not to mention the fact that, like I said, I get the sense he's probably from a well-to-do family, which means getting him caught will not be easy unless there's irrefutable evidence to bring him down. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here, but they're definitely inching towards Xian, who again in this episode said that he swore that he was never going to fight again. He's getting pushed, right? He's definitely getting pushed to break that promise. And I feel like, yeah, that idiot with the bad lace front from this episode is definitely going to be the one to probably push him to do that. But we're going to have to wait and see as we continue to watch. So yeah, another good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.